I make an archetype of character that if I got grabbed, my normals turn into one hit KOs. So if you grab me, command grab me, regular throw me. Therefore, I get. It's only for a limited time for about like a couple of seconds. But if you grab me, my next hit is a one hit kill. Normal, not special, just normal attack. So if I'm playing footsies, hey, one hit and that's it. So that'll discourage people from grabbing a lot. You know, which a lot of people like to do in games. Hey, come here. Like, it's a lot of that going on in fighting games. It's like you can text somebody stole 50 times and they'll be like, come on, 51. So yeah, if you grab me, go ahead. I'll take a little damage, but just know that I get access to a one hit. I'm one punch man for a limited time.
Your
Once I
character
got
archetype sounds like a salty Wobbuffet or something like that with his countering ability.
No, man. If it, hey, you can survive, just all you gotta do is survive. It really ain't even that cheap of a mechanic. I have to hit you. Just don't get hit. Don't just survive that like what 5-10 seconds of me being able to one touch you. Just
Oh
survive it.
man.
They
Just
could at
don't if
least
you
block
don't
right. It's like actually take damage. It's me like hit like you could still block and you die right.
they can block, but just don't get hit. So all you gotta do, just don't grab me and make sure you play good footsies and play neutral. That's it. But if you grab me, just know that I can anti-air jab you. Ooh, just know that. Just know that. So that's what I would do. I would make a character that discourages you from wanting to grab me. If you want to grab me, it's fine. But just know there's a consequence to it.
Salt lives.
Oh, 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 is that a Mr. Game and Lift, or was that the whole archetype?
Yeah, that's it. I get strong. I get stronger if you grab me.
Okay. So in that case, yeah, I would say that the archetype, I always been a fan of characters. I like grappler characters, but I always kind of like them characters like Alex from that were kind of like hybrid characters that are like that have like that have the grapple option, but they actually have like, they have like other moves that like, kind of round out their command list, I think I've always thought that was really cool. And yeah, I would say that if I was going to make an archetype, I would probably have a character that has a hybrid character that heavily leans towards grappling. Like they don't necessarily, that's not like they're not necessarily a one trick pony, but they got like, some really solid stuff outside of that. In addition to that, I would say that they would also have like a move, like a grab that like is untechable and then kills you in one hit. I think like that would be 100% fair. You maybe for like maybe as a V trigger or something like that. One bar, you go over, you have to grab, no harm, no foul. But if you get grabbed, untechable, and you die in one hit, I think that's more than fair. Like I mean, like all you have to do is not get hit. I mean, no problem, right? It's pretty simple, I think. Grabs are, I mean, all you got to do is either jump or backstep or whatever. But if you get grabbed, it's all over but the crying. But specifically like really I think like a character like my ideal archetype would be a character that's a hybrid character or a grappler hybrid character that leans heavily towards grappling with like like I've always kind of thought that Alex was really cool, that whole dive bomb thing he does, and then like the whole thing where he kind of does the jump and he jumps over, and then like if you whiff it, then it's kind of like okay cool, I'm a little bit closer. But if you're too close, then they jump and they grab you, headbutts you, and then I think like the stun gauge goes up a decent amount. Like that stuns you, that raises your stun gauge a lot, if I remember correctly. So, I don't know. Yeah, I would say that a uh, a good grappling hybrid character would be the archetype that I would make.
I think it's interesting that you and Mr. Gamerlift literally had the opposite ideas of how to make a character, like in literally in the opposite directions of each other. I think that's
Yeah,
hilarious. But for my take, I thought about it for a second, and I was thinking about different elements from the games. So my ideal fighting game character would be almost like a different game, almost would be a game where you start the match and all your special moves are locked. However, you have to hit certain requirements in the match to unlock a special move. So for instance, it's sort of like what would happen with Fighting EX Slayer did with the Goki system. However, instead of Gogi abilities, it'd be your actual moves. So that would incentivize in the match playing carefully or landing certain hits in certain ways to be able to use the rest of your repertoire. Like for instance, you don't have your fireball until you are able to land like a 3-hit combo or do an anti-air or something like that, or do a sweep or something like that. And then you're able to unlock the next phase of it and the next phase of it. And then you can, the longer the match goes, or the better you play, the more you allow more resources. Your resources will literally be your move set.
So like versus modes, like story mode.
Kind of like that. And I thought about that for like games like MOBAs, you know, when you start a match and you have to unlock your moves by leveling up in the match, actually learn your special moves and stuff like that. But in the meantime, you have to play very carefully. You can't just go for the win or go for the kill immediately. You have to play very carefully in the beginning. I think I want to have a character that will be incentivized to play patiently, and then over the course of the match, they get more moves and more abilities and things unlocked, and they can play more aggressively from then on. So not only starting with neutral, but then being able to control and go after the neutral. Like one thing I think about fighting games is that at least a couple years ago, we were neutral crazy. People always talk about neutral. What people would not talk about is what you do once you win the neutral or you lose the neutral. There's more to fighting games than just neutral. How do you control the matchup aggressively? How do you control the matchup on the back foot? How do you handle pressure in front of you? Once you've lost the neutral, you have to be able to rebound. Once you've won the neutral, you have to be able to capitalize. So I want a character to kind of incentivize that. Play neutral, and then over time, take over the neutral with your moves. That's kind of the ideal character I like to create.